I used the Orla Dress pattern to make my everyday black dress. I did have some issues with printing my pattern. The size was right on point, but some of the edges got clipped off in my printer, so I did the best I could to match up the lines, but it didn't always work, as you can see. But I made it work as best as I could, and then I cut everything out. So there's my pattern pieces, and I used them to make a practice garment, which is also called a toile or a muslin. And it was a little tight, so I decided to do a fit adjustment. I used a fit adjustment tutorial from YouTube. Basically, I took my waist measurement and I took the pattern pieces and figured out the finished garment waist measurements, and then I decided how much to add to the waist from there. As you can see, the pattern had multiple sizes on one piece, so I used the closest thing I had to tracing paper, which was parchment paper, to trace off just the size that I needed. And as you can see, it does not tape very well, so instead of trying to tape a piece of paper on to extend it, I just decided to make a new one on newspaper. So I cut it out and I made a second practice garment, and you can't really see it, but it's a little looser compared to the original that I made, and I was pretty happy with the fit. So I was ready to make the dress. I picked out this black double gauze cotton from Joann's, and this was my first time working with double gauze, so I referenced a blog post on how to work with it, which recommended using 50 weight thread and size 70-10 needles. So the pattern comes with a recommended layout for cutting the pieces. This is what it looks like. I didn't follow it because I didn't think it was the most efficient use of the fabric, so I just did it a little different, but I got the same pieces. I put in a fresh needle and I threaded my machine and got ready to sew. First I did the darts, and I made sure to tie off the strings when they were done. There were 4 in total, and this is what it looked like when all 4 of them were done. Then I joined the side seams and the shoulder seams, and then I pinned it in the back so I could try it on to make sure it fit. Then I attached the neckband like so. And I couldn't figure out the pattern instructions, so I kind of did it a different way. I don't know how to explain it, but basically what I did is So here I'm marking out where I want my gathering stitches to be. I switched my machine to white thread and a longer stitch length. And then I stitched both lines just following where I marked out. This is what it looked like when it was done. I also did the gathering stitches for the skirt pieces while I had the white thread in. Then I switched back to a black thread and a shorter stitch length so that I could sew the seams of the sleeves. So here they are ready to be inserted into the bodice, and this is what they look like when inserted into the bodice. I sewed both sleeves, and then I also gathered the skirt pieces and sewed those into the bodice. If you've never gathered before, basically you pull the 2 strings and then you distribute the fabric on the strings. So this is what it looks like with the sleeves and the skirt in, and then all that was left to do was finish the seams inside and insert the zipper and hem. So I finally went out and bought a zipper. I also bought some fabric clips to help keep it in place while I put it through the machine, and I'm really glad that I did. So that's what the zipper looks like inserted into the bodice. And then I sewed up the back seam and I finally hemmed the skirt and the sleeves like so. And then my dress was finished, and this is what it looks like.